please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
That is a definite negative read-through for the core inflation
some
data
numbers.
also.
Fuel is at 16.18% versus 11.22%. So fuel has gotten costlier. Manufacturing inflation at 4.17 versus 3.73% in May. Wholesale food index at 1.56 versus 1.1%. April inflation has also been revised higher to 3.62 versus 3.18.
So I think the key figures are actually what you read out, and I'm just going to throw this to Soumya right now. Soumya, we've got the headline figure which is coming at 5.7%. It's way above what even your poll was. Fuel has come in at 16.18%, manufacturing 4.17%, and food has hardened as well, as contrary to what the CPI had indicated. So what is your first read through?
No, I think if I look into our projections, I think the manufactured products year-on-year number is exactly in line with what we were projecting, but I think it's the fuel part which has hardened significantly. So I think there is a 2% upward estimates from our what we were expecting, and I think the core also has come in at 4.82%. So I told that the core could come at around 4.8%. So core had actually come in at 4.82% as per the WPI estimate. So I think it's primarily a fuel-led inflation, and there is a food. The food has also contributed its part, but I think mostly it's a fuel inflation which has been led by the fuel.
So
prices,
this is definitely
that
a negative.
Has a weightage, I think, of around 13.2% is the WPI basket.
This is definitely a negative read-through, though.
No, this is a negative number, but I think the June was supposed to be an adverse number. The CPI number came in lower, much lower than the market expectations, around 30 basis points. The WPI has come in 30 basis points more than the market expectations. So I think on a net basis, you are getting a good number on CPI and a bad number on WPI. But my point of concern, if any, is the core number, and the core number which came in at 6.45% for CPI.
But Soumya, core is in line with your expectations.
Next month, because
core is in line with your expectations. It's the headline index as a whole, inclusive of the fact that core has increased, which has been a negative surprise.
No, I am talking about the core. I am not talking about the core WPI, which is exactly in line with our expectation. I am talking about the core CPI.
Okay.
So core CPI actually is at 6.45%, and the good thing about the core CPI is that if I look into my projections for the next month CPI number for July, which will not be available to RBI when they make the August decision on policy on the 1st August. I think the core next month is likely to drop from the current levels, and the headline number could actually go below 4.5% because the base effect comes into play. So I would like to go through one more reading to see whether the momentum core is sustained. If the momentum from core is sustained, then the RBI could actually, that could be a game for some policy hardening, but that should be in the October policy.
Okay.
So in August, I would largely expect that the RBI should be on hold, but it will flag the
No, I just wanted to point out that in terms of the vegetable inflation, it's coming at around 8% versus 2% in the previous month, 8.12 versus 2.5%. And for the CPI, actually there was a deceleration which took place in terms of the inflation when it came to vegetables. So there is definitely a little bit of a difference or a discrepancy which is taking place between the two indices in certain sections.
No, that is fine, because if you look into the pass-through effect, the WPI pass-through is, if you look at the trends in the whole mandi prices and the retail level, and if you make a comparison on a historical basis, we will always find that the pass-through at the WPI level, the mandi level is actually more or less synchronizes with what is the mandi price increase. But the CPI pass-through sometimes comes a little late, sometimes the pass-through is not as much as is anticipated. So from that point of view, I think the number reflects that the food prices pass-through may have been complete for the WPI, but for CPI the pass-through may not be complete or incomplete. So from that point of view, it is important that we get the next reading to see whether the food prices dump is also reflected in the CPI number next month.